All right, today we're going to talk about something that's really shaking up how companies work with their data in the cloud. It's called Gemini for Google Cloud. The best way to think about it? It's like a super smart AI copilot that's built right into the tools your teams probably use every day. But first, let me ask you a question, and I bet it's going to sound familiar. Is your company's most valuable asset, all that precious data, kind of stuck, locked away in places where the people who need it most, the ones who could make those game-changing decisions, just can't get to it? Yeah, it's a massive, super frustrating problem for so many businesses. You know, this problem actually has a name. It's called the data bottleneck. It's that clog in the system where information just gets stuck because only a few technical wizards know the secret handshake to access it. To make this feel real, let's talk about a fictional company called Symbol Retail. So Symbol Retail is a growing business, and they've got tons of valuable data. Their marketing team? Brilliant. They have all these amazing ideas. The catch? To actually test those ideas, they needed answers that were buried deep in that data. And they weren't experts in SQL. You know, that complex language you use to talk to databases? So every single question had to be funneled through the data analytics team, who were, let's be honest, completely swamped. And this was their reality. Marketing has a question. They file a ticket. They wait. The data team, whenever they can find a spare minute, has to write this complex code to pull the answer. And days, sometimes weeks later, marketing finally gets their data. But by then, the moment, the opportunity they were chasing, it might be long gone. Okay, but this is where the story takes a turn for the better. Symbol Retail knew they had to break this bottleneck, so they brought in a new tool, Gemini in BigQuery, which is Google's massive data warehouse, and let me tell you, this completely changed the game for asking questions and, most importantly, getting answers. So instead of filing a ticket and waiting in line, the marketing team could now just ask, in plain English, a simple question like, what are the top-selling products in the Northeast region? No code, no waiting, just an answer. And they could get way more detailed. A question like this used to mean a super complex query, joining all sorts of data tables. Now, it's as easy as typing a sentence. That whole barrier to entry, it just disappeared. They could even do some really powerful comparisons. I mean, this isn't just about pulling a few numbers. It's about getting deep strategic insights, like right now. Can you imagine asking this and getting an answer in minutes instead of weeks? That's a game changer. And this right here is the whole point. The old way demanded a very specific technical skill. The new way? Hey, if you can ask a question, you can get an answer. And what's so cool is that behind the scenes, Gemini is the one translating that simple English into the complex SQL code, so your team doesn't even have to think about it. Now, what we just saw with Symbol Retail and BigQuery is incredibly cool, but here's the kicker. It's just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. This kind of AI intelligence is being woven into the entire cloud experience. And that's really the heart of Gemini for Google Cloud. It's not one product. Think of it as an entire suite of AI assistants. Each one is built to turbocharge a different part of your cloud workflow, whether you're knee-deep in data, writing code, or trying to keep everything secure. So you know what? Let's take a quick spin through this AI-powered toolbox. Seeing all the different pieces really gives you a sense of just how big of an idea this is. Okay, so here's the lineup. You've got assistants for managing your cloud, for coding, for databases, for business intelligence in Looker, for security, and even for data scientists in Colab. I mean, it really covers the whole tech landscape. Let's just grab a couple of these. For instance, think about how complicated it is just to manage your cloud setup. Cloud Assist acts like your AI expert, helping you design and troubleshoot everything. And for developers, Code Assist is like the ultimate AI pair programmer, supporting over 20 languages and helping them write better code way faster. Then you have Gemini and databases, which makes building an app or managing a whole fleet of databases so much simpler. And in Looker, Gemini becomes your intelligent assistant, whipping up complex charts and reports from you just describing what you want to see. It's wild. And this is huge. Security teams are often drowning in alerts. Gemini jumps in to give them near-instant analysis of threats and potential attack routes, helping them shut down attacks before they can spread. It's all about getting the right info at the right time. Of course, the big question with any AI is always about security and privacy, right? Well, the folks at Google are really clear on this. Your prompts, your data, your code,
None of that stuff is used to train their general models, period. And it all comes with the same tough enterprise-grade security you'd expect from Google Cloud.
Okay, so we've seen the tools, which are awesome. But let's bring it all back home. What does all of this actually mean for a company? Why does it really matter?
Well, the first and most obvious thing is a massive boost in agility. It's about flipping the switch from being reactive to being proactive. Just like we saw with simple retail, right? When your teams can get answers themselves, they can make decisions in a snap and pivot their strategy based on what the data is telling them, practically in real time. Second, and this is so important, it fundamentally improves collaboration. When AI takes over the routine stuff, like writing basic code or simple data queries, it frees up your experts. Your best data analysts and senior developers can finally focus on the bigger, more strategic work that really moves the needle. And you know, what happens next is this really powerful cultural shift. When more people across the whole company feel confident enough to play with data and understand it, you start to build a real culture of data literacy. And that means you have more people making smarter, data-driven decisions everywhere.
So when you boil it all down, all the cool tools, all the amazing features, all these benefits, it really all points back to one single overarching goal. And that goal is to democratize access. It's about tearing down the walls. It's about taking the incredible power of cloud tech and the deep expertise that used to belong to just a handful of people and putting it in the hands of everyone in the organization. That is a fundamental change in who gets to innovate.
So, we'll end on this thought. Forget all the technical stuff for just a moment and just imagine the possibilities. What could your business really do if anyone, from marketing to sales to operations, could just have a conversation with your data and get immediate, intelligent answers back? What new ideas would you unlock?